All right, we are back and it's still Crossfire with Dr. Anisha. This is Channel 196 on Star Times and it's Crossfire. And we'll be bringing you a lot of political issues and current affairs, in the nation. We told you reliably that President Muhammadu Buhari had issues, yesterday. We mentioned it that briefly, letting you know that there was a particular session with the 70th General Assembly of the United Nations. And we had it reliably that President Goodluck Jonathan, President Muhammadu Buhari was not able to present the issue that the United Nations is expecting him to present on Boko Haram. He missed that session because he was particularly misinformed by the Nigerian mission in the United States, putting his plans together for the General Assembly. And that is a very unfortunate situation because up till we came to the studio, nothing has been said about Boko Haram. And then we were told also that in addition to the fact that the president was misinformed, we had a classical issue of security breach where President Muhammadu Buhari had to take an entrance that was not designated for president to pass through, and thereby it was blocked away by security agencies, and they were not and he was not allowed to even go close to shaking the hand of the Pope, and so a lot of things really has happened to President Muhammadu Buhari when it comes to the issues around the 70th UN General Assembly sitting. Before we went on the break, we told you that the nass, that is the National Assembly, resumes today after, a very long break. It is also very important to let you know that the National Assembly, since all the controversies and the imbroglio that actually brought President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, to power, it's still, not at rest. Issues is just that as they resume today, they've sat for only 18 days since the National Assembly has been constituted, and they've really spent a lot of time, off break. But the truth is just that they will be resuming today, and there are so many issues like we reeled out before we went on the break. Let's take this call before we continue. Vincent, good morning. Hello, Vincent.
Hello.
Good morning, Vincent.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Let's take your comment.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you very well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. Go ahead and make your comment.
Yes, I commend you people for bringing to the fore the issue of Senate.
All right,
Thank you.
My comment is this. It seems the issue of Senate and the crisis involved are getting too much national attention. First of all, let me say that the Senate, the ex-Senate, I think it has done a lot of, there were mistakes made. And this is the time to correct those mistakes.
Yeah.
Secondly, the issue of doctoring the Senate rule, I think it should not be a matter that should be discussed now, because Nigeria and Nigerians need urgent action from the Senate. And secondly, the issue of Senate President facing the CCB or CCT,
Yeah,
I think that one should not disturb the Senate, because the thing is before a court of competent jurisdiction. Let the law take its course. It is not something that senators will go there and debate, because anything they discuss, if they come there to discuss a matter that is before a law court, I think it is either sub judice. Thirdly, we need a comprehensive report of the power probe, because a lot of funds had gone down the drain but yet we have not seen the light. We have not seen the light. Therefore, let them get the nitty-gritty of all the contracts, of all the funds that were spent in the power sector, and make Nigeria to be happy. Because if those who might have stolen money or who might have been given contracts to do jobs for power holding company or whatever you call it, the discos, the gencos, and so on, if up till now we cannot have stable electricity, the economy is not going anywhere.
Okay.
The national development we are talking will not go anywhere. Because without electricity, the man in the streets, the artisans, the manufacturing sector will not function very well.
That's true.
So I want the Senate to go down the line, to hit the ground running. There is no need piling up security forces at the Senate premises, because the Senate, the Senate is made up of very responsible and reputable Nigerians. And that chamber where they sit is called hallowed chamber. Hallowed. Yes. If you look at that, if you look at the place, if you go to the standing rules of the Senate, you will see that nobody is allowed in there with walking stick or any harmful object.
Yeah.
So whatever they do, if they go there and fight, after fighting, they will say reconcile.
Okay.
That is Senate for you.
All right.
So I am urging the Senate to do their work accordingly and help Nigerians, because we are suffering. So that the change mantra being propagated by the present government will be a reality.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so much,
Vincent, for your insightful comments. But it is, I mean, on a very light note, he said something that really amuses me, and that's the fact that, I mean, it's an hallowed chamber. I agree very totally. But within the chamber, we have had instances and, situations where there have been wrestling, where chairs have been stolen, where people are as exchanged,
where weapons
punches,
were even hidden in their bags,
and all of that. But Ishoma,
all that's in the past.
Really and truly, Ishoma, look at it. We have, there is indeed what I can call, anxiety on what could eventually happen, as they resume today. Now, we were told that, possible attack and invasion of the complex by various, interest group on the issues that are very prevailing, on the Senate president. Now, don't forget that the Senate president, as we speak, is facing, a possible impeachment process. And if that happens, or probably that is predominant when it comes to issues in the National Assembly as we speak, and that may eventually overshadow a lot of other issues like we already read out. They've not, the probe is pending, the power probe is pending, the ministerial list is sent already. They need to sit on it and ratify, and so that we can know our ministers. We have other issues, that is, salaries and allowances of the legislators that needs to be put in place. And then we still have a lot of oversight function. As at yesterday, a lot of people who have been appointed to begin to sit on some of the committees within the House are beginning to deny, because they don't want to face, any strong opposition that may eventually bring their names into or drag them into any issue that is pending and all of that. So it is actually a madhouse, and that's why
now is what is priority for members of the legislative right now? I
think right now what is priority for them is either Saraki is going to go or is going to stay.
So it is not national issues.
Seriously, that's the way I'm just looking at it. Because if care is not taken, we find out that they are sitting today. We rather, concentrate on the fact that, do we really have a Senate president in Buki Saraki, or we are just looking forward to a process that will eventually play out that will lead to his impeachment? And if that happens during this week, as they begin to sit, then we have a major crisis. It simply means there will be a process where another person will be ushered in as the new president of the Senate, and that in itself may cause a major setback in the affairs of the Senate. So So, I mean, if you look at it really very well, if there's any matter in the list of preference, it will be to really, establish if Buki Saraki will remain as the Senate president or he will have to go.
But that's why I said earlier that if Mr. President can address our senators, I mean, it will make a lot of difference because, look, we've gotten information that the list of ministers is ready, but all that needs to be done is for our esteemed senators to sit down, deliberate, and pass the vote on it. So I think that is crucial, and I believe that is also most important, in the hearts of Nigerians right now. If we can probably get Mr. President, or Mr. President can perform his first duty to us as a nation, and that also includes addressing our senators that, look, the House will be resuming today. I commend you, but please, as regards national grievances aside, let judicial their own duties, but as regards national matters, let's move forward. I think that will make a lot of difference.
All right,
in the
so let's go back. It's just because people have been calling on this particular issue, and I know, to be very sincere with you, it is the most trending story in Nigeria today. And so, I mean, we will definitely, follow up and then bring you updates on that particular one. Now, speaking at a meeting between the leaders yesterday in Kaduna, still talking about, the military instruction that they should watch out for fleeing Boko Haram members who are already leaving the territory where the army is already taking over. And the point is just that, they are beginning to enter into already, taking villages and local governments in Borno State. And the possibility is that if care is not taken, they can regroup. So if these guys are allowed to have a safe passage into the neighboring communities, they eventually can form, the moment they form, a sizable number that can really unleash terror again, then we have to revert to coming to fight the battle backwards again,
but
instead of having to move forward.
I think this instruction, being vigilant should not extend only, or shouldn't be limited to certain areas in the northern part of the country. I think it should extend to even the southern parts of the country, especially the middle belt in the regions, places like Jos, and all of that, which has been hot over time, and also the southern part of the country. I mean, they may want to take other routes to leave the country. All right, so let's quickly take
Muhammad's comment. He's calling from Kaduna. Hello, good morning, Muhammad.
Hello, good morning.
Hi,
good morning. Good to have you on Crossfire.
Thank you very much. How is your program?
Very well, we are great. How is Salah?
Salah is good.
Fantastic. Good to have you on the show. Let's take your comment.
I just want to commend you people in response to the unfolding situations that is happening, particularly in the Senate.
Yeah.
With particular regards to Saraki's case,
yes,
I think Nigerians should have to be patient with the CCD. They should allow the due process to take its course. I think that should be the best thing to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Muhammad.
But can I respond to what Muhammad said? Yeah. It's beautiful, Nigeria should be patient. But, I mean, people will say, oh, we've been patient for so long. Now, I recall, when the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was brought before the tribunal, that lasted for almost a year. So, I mean, I don't know how long this will last, but what if it takes as long as that a year? Can Nigerians wait for one more year to begin to see the results of good governance?
I think there's a constitutional provision. I really don't want to go into this. Let's take some other stories. I mean, we will bring you updates.
But Femi's calling us from Lokoja.
All right, let's take Femi from Lokoja. Femi, good morning.
Good morning. I'm enjoying the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Please, this issue of Saraki.
Yes.
Now, I see it as serious witch hunting. Now, we are talking about a man. A government came in and said they want to fight corruption. Now, it should be systemic. It should be systemic. All our systems are rotten. We are not talking about NEPA. We are not talking about customs. We are not talking of all the substructures that hold the structure called Nigeria. And we are just talking about a man. And this issue is lingering. We voted the government in to come and govern us, and governance is not being done. A lot of issues are going. Look at what is happening now. The central bank is about. The central bank, we were just been told that the economy is about to enter recess. Nobody's talking.
Hello, Femi.
Hello, Femi, are you there?
Sorry.
We lost that call.
Sorry, we lost that call.
Now, you see, I don't know. I mean, I think Nigerians really want to talk about this story. They just want to talk about this story. Now, it is really very important that, I mean, the media options. When I say media options, I simply means, information that have been, that are already in the public domain. I mean, those information are not to be pushed aside. They are probably, predicted, or based on the premise that, I mean, they have inside information as to what, legislators already are saying. Now, it's one thing for the House to gather today, for the Senate to come to address, national matters. But it's a different ball game when you have legislators who are probably anti-Bukola Saraki, and they want to say that, no, we have a Senate president that is under the fire, and pending the time that the investigation, and don't forget that CCT reconvene by October the 21st. And that's a long time from now. Yeah. And so you want him to step aside, and he will not perform his legislative responsibility as the Senate president, but maybe they will now say the deputy president should preside over as many affairs as will be before he gets cleared by the CCT. And that's, for me, it's very political. I don't want to go the route of Femi this morning by saying whatever... I
need Nigerians to understand this now. It's let's just be logical. Let's just debate and,
You know my position already on this matter.
Therefore, please.
I think...
Now, the APC wrote on the mantra of change. And if you recall also the speech, the speech during the swearing-in ceremony of Mr. President, he said, I am for nobody, but I belong to everybody. Now, that statement has been dissected on this stage. Okay. And we've also said that it means that he will not be in favor of even members of his political party. If they've been found, stained or tainted with corruption, they will also go the route and they'll be tried.
All right, so
why are we protecting one person?
Okay, let's quickly take this call. Idris, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Yes, how is Mina today?
Wow, Mina is fine, and how is Cool TV this morning?
Very well, fantastic.
We're so cool.
Thank you. I want to commend you guys for your job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My contribution is that as the Senate resumes today, the issue of Senate presidents should not be their top agenda at all. Saraki issue is just an individual, and the issue is already in the court. We should let the court decide and forget about that.
Okay.
I don't expect senators to act funny today, because if they do, Nigerians will hold them responsible. Lastly, Ijoma, I owe you a big crown. Thank you.
You owe me a big what? I didn't get that, please.
I owe you a big crown for the salad.
Ooh, thank you.
A very big crown with 2 horns.
Mighty horn.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. I'm very sure once you give it to her,
we'll share it.
We'll definitely
I'm
share
like that.
It appears we fight on the show, but really and truly we try to quickly make up once the show is over. Now, let's quickly say this. Now, Idris said something that is really very sensitive. Let me say this. Bukola Saraki is an individual. He has been, one way or the other, let me put it that way, legislatively or, selected or otherwise elected, by a doctored document and rubbles in the House about the time he was eventually became the president of the Senate. But truth is that today, the number 3 man in Nigeria is the Senate president, and that person is Bukola Saraki. Now, the truth is, can we separate between Bukola Saraki, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and the Senate President of the 8th National Assembly?
We need to play this, because I wouldn't want to see individuals here. I'm not looking at Saraki as an individual. Look at Seblata case, the FIFA scandal, corruption scandal. Let's look at the ongoing Volkswagen, issues. And the CEO had to resign. He's an individual, but he's sitting within, an institution. So what are we saying? Why are we always referring to he's an individual? Is it because this is Nigeria?
Anyway, let's quickly go on a short break. When we come back, I have a lot of things to pick up on your last statement. Let's go now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, we are back. Welcome back to Crossfire, and this is Crossfire with Dakwani Shoma. And we've been in the studio talking about national issues, and Nigeria seems to be really very interested in the resumption of the National Assembly today. And a lot of things have been anticipated, and most probably some group of people are saying there will be a peaceful resumption, while some people are saying, no, there are really, really very dirty issues to be trashed, and that may not eventually all go well, you know, for the Senate if we have national matters. Like you mentioned something before we went on that break, and I'm really very interested. Now, we have a Bukola Saraki in the Senate President of Nigeria. And the truth is just that sometimes you may really want to talk about the office and the individual. Reason is this. Now, what CCB, the person CCB probably is investigating right now is is Bukola Saraki.
Of course.
Not the Senate President.
Okay.
Even though we have found one in him. Do you understand? So if we have a matter like that, peradventure, constitutional-wise, there are some form of immunity that the Senate President should enjoy if he is sitting, if he's a sitting Senate President. I mean, and such things would have been like, okay, fine.
I like what you said.
Exactly.
You said now that he's an individual who has found himself as a Senate President.
Yes.
Now, also understand that the issues which the Code of Conduct Tribunal are trying him for were certain, statements or declarations he made while as governor, deputy governor, and governor of a state, which also, you can say, are connected to his emergence today as a Senate President. All of these have built up his resume. All of this also helped him, because I recall we talked about having people or having a Senate leader who has experience. And all of these were issues which also connected. So when you're not having the issue of corruption being alleged against an individual, come on, he took an oath now. He took the oath to what? To be truthful. He took an oath to serve the Nigerian people in fairness and in accordance with the laws of the land. So when you have that one individual who has breached the law of the land, come on, you wouldn't want that individual to remain in office.
Can I ask you a question, Ishoma? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. It would be a shame to the laws of Nigeria.
Can I ask you a question?
If that individual still remains in office.
Was any searchlight, beamed on the declaration by the president and the vice president?
People made a comment.
Politically speaking, yeah, politically speaking, politically speaking, hold on, Ishoma, politically speaking, you and I know that Bukola Saraki has, won a lot of enemies when he emerged as the president of the Senate. Now, there is no proper analysis that can be given to the fact that this is not aimed at his person, and it is an effort on whoever or whatever party. I'm not talking about political party now. I'm a group of people trying to unseat the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. So every little...
I understand, but you as an individual, you have enemies. I have enemies. So does everyone. Even our Lord God has a lot of enemies. He has people who hate him because he's God. True or false? Now look, Mr. President declared his assets. He has declared his assets 4 times. And making it the 4th time, all of these are out there in the public domain. People can sit down and compare. Okay, in 2007, you declared your assets. From 2007 to 2011, how much did you make? It's been out there. So if people had issues that, okay, maybe some of the assets he declared were falsified, they would have raised issues on it. Same with that of the vice president. But if issues are now being raised as regards Bukola Saraki, and because I don't think, and I would not want to link it that it's because he has enemies. It's probably because of the disparity in all of these assets. It's simple. I don't want
to believe the president.
You come and clear the air.
And the vice president are faultless.
No, well,
they were people who are.
They're human beings.
Hold on, yeah, they were people who have occupied the public offices before. President Muhammadu Buhari was one time, a head of state in this country.
Very true.
The vice president worked with the Lagos state government.
Very true.
Now, peradventure, if a proper searchlight is being beamed on this gentleman, they may eventually have to trade, so maybe a transaction or an activity
all of these
or something.
Have been in the public domain. Do you think that people wouldn't have done their own searchlight just to rubbish
So,
their
I
image.
mean, to be very sincere
probably
with you,
because they couldn't find anything they could hold them against.
It's not possible.
It's possible.
It's not possible. Seriously,
it's possible.
it is not possible. Anyway, as we have observed that there are underlying issues to be treated at the National Assembly, it is expected that the legislative business session today will focus on national issues and not on personal issues, so that we have legislators who are interested and they're putting Nigeria first as a nation, because we have a lot of things to do. My expectation, and I believe the expectation of Nigerians from all the inputs that we have taken, is that the business session as it commences today should focus on issues that are pending, because the Senate really have not sat to deliberate on national issues, really and truly, before they went even on their last break. So we just want to employ, and we want to use this platform to say that if whatever we have said on this show today is filters to the corridor of the National Assembly, we should focus on national issues and not on personal issues. This is how far we can go today on Crossfire. We'll be back tomorrow with another very interesting episode. Do join us and stay out of trouble. Bye for now.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.